Hey minions, welcome to Crank It Up. I'm Jim Price, and on this special edition of King of the Hill, my OCD takes over. Back when Crank It Up first began, I combined the aliens and ninjas into a single episode because their abilities were so similar. And then I did a special edition for 3 comparable actions that all instantly break bases. Because of this, I'd finished the current series with 2 more action awareness episodes than King of the Hill, and that will nag me forever. I'll constantly be ordering the episodes incorrectly in the future. So this week, I'll be restoring order, and since I focused on the actions that break bases, I wanted to focus on the king minions that do it best as well. When you simply need power, when you have 1 turn to finish a base off, which minion is best for the job? If you favor strategies that involve a big drop or a burst, this is for you. There are a lot of candidates, but I'm focusing on those that are based on overall ease of play, efficiency, and universality. There are good minions with a lot of potential, but drawbacks as well, especially without self-synergy, so those aren't being considered. I've compiled my top 5 list of these minions that can control their own destiny, regardless of a specific partner. This list is entirely minion-centric, as there are other factions who can add more power, but that generally involves actions as well. I don't want my selections to depend on any particular circumstance. For example, Critter Champion, grabbing Krakatoad can be very powerful, but it requires Krakatoad to be in your deck. I prefer examples that function strictly from your hand. To summarize the criteria, when I'm thinking about the minions that I can use to smash a base quickly, these are the ones that come to mind. For each choice, I'll also mention the intra-faction play that I really like. Number 5 is Felicia Day, which is incredibly powerful. The only reason she is number 5 on the list is because her situation is the hardest to present itself, although I always find an opportunity myself. She is also the least likely to break a base uncontested, but that is not how she is designed. Felicia Day is perfect for breaking up a spread strategy and using everyone else's minions to break a base, where you narrowly edge out an opponent. She is also great for ninja bases, which is a far less frequent play, but in 2-player, I love when Felicia Day forces an opponent into a drastic overpayment. This breaks up many multi-base strategies and allows a single minion to reset the board entirely. No one else can do that, and this is a minion that I love to play and hate to play against. She doesn't supply a lot of power, but manipulates power elsewhere. My favorite play is to combine her with non-infinite loop and control minion because it saves me a minion. Either this can push me into first, or let me steal the lone opposing minion, giving me uncontested points, while saving control minion for another usage later. Number 4 is Titania, who is less impactful overall than Felicia Day, but completely in your control. You get a free minion to add on to your 5 power, which is incredibly powerful when combined with any minion on this list. The extra minion is less efficient, but minions tend to be more than just their printed power, so Titania adds a lot more than 7 power. It is easy to use your minion play to get 9 or more power, and with Glimmer, who can give herself +1, this can become 10 without using your other king. However, Glimmer is my main engine minion, one of my favorite cards in the game, so that's not my favorite play. I prefer to pair Titania with Puck, because you get to play both an extra minion and an extra action per turn. 8 power from just your minion play is nothing to complain about, especially since you get an extra action as well. The fairies can add 3 to 4 power with those actions, potentially more given the circumstance, but other factions can do better. However, other factions don't start with the 8 power drop and give you 2 actions, and that is why Titania is so good and easy to use. Number 3 is King Rex, who is obviously going to make the list. 7 power with a single card is unmatched. Even the Elder Thing doesn't net the same amount of power and is infinitely harder to play. The 11 power from King Rex in Augmentation remains the simplest, cleanest way to add power, and the 14 brain point damage drop from Rampage is still fun and relevant today. King Rex is nothing exciting, but has held up extremely well over time, and I still consider it a threat several expansions later. Number 2 is Starlight. While Starlight can be lower than King Rex, and requires more cards to be played on previous turns, I think Starlight has a higher ceiling. Starlight almost always comes into play preceded by a C-Star, which has the same effect as Titania, but the opposite order. It also has more power. Starlight is incredibly easy to set up. In the end, you just need a few minions on the base, and they don't have to start there because bases and the mythic horses provide plenty of movement. I've gotten Starlight to crazy power levels, and while she doesn't work as a deep fryer style of play like King Rex would, your ability to smash a base quickly is too valuable to overlook. I also like that the mythic horses have a great complement of actions to facilitate Starlight, whether it is movement or power. For minions that grow to crazy levels quickly, Starlight is a top contender, but not my number one choice. No, the minion that I regularly see with insane power level is the MicroBot Alpha. You know this card is coming, it's only a matter of time, and the Alpha not just creates absurd power for himself, but other minions as well. This card can easily see double-digit power growth, and the total power added by playing it can easily be 20. What MicroBot Alpha does that other minions do not do is let you keep that power in play. There are plenty of times when I will play a MicroBot Alpha to finish off one base, while he is completely powered by minions on another. If that base will break regardless of Alpha's presence, then I can get 2 or more bases in a turn, something that really only Titania can really do, but it's a lot harder for the fairies to set that up. What really sends MicroBot Alpha into overdrive is the sheer number of extra ways to play it. As a smaller minion initially, it gains all the benefits of recursion, searching, and extra plays that are normally associated with low-powered minions. Zapbots can chain into a MicroBot Alpha. A Fixer plus 4 Zapbots plus the Alpha is 21 power if those were the only minions you had in play, and while it uses a ton of cards, Tech Center replenishes your hand quickly. Out of all these candidates, he is easily the most recyclable within the faction itself. King Rex needs his all-star equivalent to do that, making him a threat that can crush 3 bases. There are some players who like to use the Alphas as an engine to break the Fixer bases instead, but I don't subscribe to that approach. If you break the Fixer base, Alpha will shrink in size, making it vulnerable, and you only end up with 1 base instead of 2. Let the Alpha do what it does best, grow big and smash bases, because it is the core of the robot strategy, and we all know how that turns out. While I personally prefer engine minions to base finishers, sometimes you just need power. Sometimes you can't afford to wait. You need urgency. These minions provide that and do so quickly with little assumption. These are my base breakers. What are yours? Let me know in the comments. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let's shut it down.